for 15 years now. And by the way, I attended the very first Shangri-La Dialogue. IISS has been fostering the discussions and the debates that have shaped the dynamic Asia-Pacific security, stability, and prosperity in this still young century. Tensions in the South China Sea, North Korea's continued nuclear and missile provocations, and the dangers of violent extremism felt worldwide pose challenges to the region's stability and prosperity. You may recall that at the end of my remarks last year, I projected conversations we might have at a future Shangri-La. If we continue to cooperate on security, I posited, we would one day be discussing a U.S.-China-India multilateral maritime exercise, a Japan-Republic of Korea joint disaster response in the South China Sea, and an ASEAN-wide security network. Over the last year, we've made progress toward that vision. China and India will both participate once again in the U.S.-hosted RIMPAC naval exercise this summer. Japan and the Republic of Korea are engaging with each other in new ways. And through and in addition to the ASEAN centric security network that's developing in Southeast Asia, nations across the entire Asia Pacific are increasingly working together and networking security together. By doing so, our nations are making a choice for a principled and inclusive future, one as bright and miraculous as the recent past. While it would take me too long to go through every valuable partnership, you can see the breadth and depth of our bilateral efforts with some of the actions the United States and its allies and partners have taken just since last year's Shangri-La Dialogue. For example, the U.S.-Japan alliance remains the cornerstone of Asia-Pacific security. And with the new defense guidelines that Minister Nakatani and I signed last year, the U.S.-Japan alliance has never been stronger or more capable of contributing to security around the region and beyond. America's alliance with the Philippines is as close as it has been in decades. Through the new landmark Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, the United States is supporting the modernization of the Philippine Armed Forces. The U.S.-India military relationship is as close as it's ever been. Through our strategic handshake, with the United States reaching west in its rebalance, and India reaching east in Prime Minister Modi's Act East policy, our two nations are exercising together by air, land, and sea. This initiative demonstrates the promise of a principled security network. Nations building connections for a common cause, planning and training together, and eventually operating in a coordinated way. The United States welcomes the emergence of a peaceful, stable, and prosperous China that plays a responsible role in the region's principled security network. We know China's inclusion makes for a stronger network and a more stable, secure, and prosperous region. In all of our interactions with our Chinese counterparts, the United States consistently encourages China to take actions that uphold and do not undercut the shared principles that have served so many in Asia-Pacific so well for so long. The region will be stronger, safer, and more prosperous when all countries are working toward a common vision in which shared principles are upheld, all countries enjoy equal treatment irrespective of their size or strength, and disputes are resolved peacefully and lawfully. Unfortunately, there's growing anxiety in this region and in this room about China's activities on the seas, in cyberspace, and in the region's airspace. Indeed, in the South China Sea, China has taken some expansive and unprecedented actions that have generated concerns about China's strategic intentions. And countries across the region have been taking action and voicing concerns, publicly and privately, at the highest levels in regional meetings and global fora. As a result, China's actions in the South China Sea are isolating it at a time when the entire region is coming together and networking. Unfortunately, if these actions continue, China could end up erecting a great wall of self-isolation. Now, the United States is not a claimant in the current disputes in the South China Sea, and we do not take a position on which claimant has the superior sovereignty claim over the disputed land features. But the United States will stand with regional partners to uphold core principles like freedom of navigation and overflight and the peaceful resolution of disputes through legal means and in accordance with international law. As I affirmed here last year, and America's freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea have demonstrated, the United States will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, so that everyone in the region can do the same. It is said of this region that security is like oxygen. When you have enough of it, you pay no attention to it. But when you don't have enough, you can think of nothing else. For many years, the United States, along with its allies and partners in the region, have helped provide oxygen in it. But by networking regional security together, we can all contribute more and in different ways. In the years ahead, as we continue to realize this brighter and principled future, providing the region's oxygen will more and more become a networked effort. Thank you.